The Children's Advocacy Center of Smith County's mission is to protect and restore the lives of abused children through team investigations, healing services, community outreach, and strategic partnerships.
I remember back when I was practicing as a pediatrician here, and when I was presented with a child who had, there was an outcry of sexual abuse, I was clueless as to what to do. The child had to tell their story again when law enforcement came, and maybe again when they got involved with therapy. And so we were seeing that this abused child was actually being abused time and time again as they had to relate their story.
There was very little service that was available when the question was asked, who can help? Very few people really had the time
or the
expertise, dedicated to doing that.
I made an appointment and went to see then District Attorney Jack Skeen and said, if we start a Children's Advocacy Center here, will you support it? And he was 100% behind it. So I went from there to Chief Larry Robinson at the police department and asked him the same thing, and he said, absolutely. And I said, but now to put it together, we're going to have some folks from your office to help us with it. We'll assign them, absolutely. So that led us to the beginning of work that I guess took us to put the Children's Advocacy Center together.
We offer programs inside the building, our multidisciplinary team coordination, forensic interviews, family advocacy, medical exams, and therapy. And externally, we offer community education to children and to adults, and we also offer trauma-informed schools.
I think the trauma-informed schools is one of the best programs that we have. I think it's opened up the door to inform teachers of things that they are seeing and witnessing and teaching them how to react and deal with them. And I think that is one of the most important things because that leads to the help. You always want to be optimistic. I'm a very optimistic person. But in reality, sometimes it's not always what it looks like. Because we always want to perceive the best thing. Perception is reality a lot of times, but in certain instances, it's not.
When I first started working at the Children's Advocacy Center, I had a dual role. Part of my job was in fundraising and development, and then other part of my job was as a community educator, going into schools and talking to kids about how to keep their bodies safe. And so I was the community outreach coordinator, and so I did that dual role for 4 years, and I absolutely loved it.
So I started in 2015 as a part-time worker for the front desk, which was called the Victim Assistance Coordinator. And at the time, I couldn't even tell you how many employees we had, but it wasn't very many. It was small.
I think it's amazing that you can sit in with a kid in such a short amount of time, being able to gain their trust, that they're able to talk to you about the scariest moments in their life. It makes me cheer because I think about the little kids talking to you about it. But no, just thinking about that, what a testament. And you say you hope that, you give hope and that you are like now.
When we look back over the last 25 years, it's amazing to see the growth and to see how many children we're now serving. Over 1,000 children every year.
In 2003, we moved from a 3,000-foot building into a 8,200 square foot building on 2 acres of land. It was a $500,000 building. We had started making payments, maybe 1 month or 2 months. And one day, J.B. Smith brought Mrs. Lou Ornalis to the Children's Advocacy Center, to our new building. We had just moved in, and she took a tour. And 30 minutes later, Sheriff J.B. Smith calls me and says, "Carol, are you going to be there? I'm going to drop by with a $500,000 check." Mrs. Ornalis made that decision within 30 minutes of leaving this center. And so now I've learned recently that the Children's Advocacy Center has come full circle. And what happiness that brings to me, because Lou Ornalis' son, Randy Rogers, has sold a building to the Children's Advocacy Center at a greatly reduced price. It's amazing.
I wish that our kids could see all the people in the community that care about them and love them, and how if the kids could see the staff at the CAC how much we love those kids. You know, if only they knew that. And I really hope that we get to the point where they do know that and they do feel that kindness and that love and that support from our donors, from our staff. I mean, that would just be amazing for kids to know that there are people in the community that care about them, even if they don't know them personally. Yeah. That would just be such a great thing. And I know that we're working towards that, and I feel like it's closer than we could ever imagine and really hope for.
As we look to the next 25 years, we invite you to join us. The Children's Advocacy Center is a legacy of this community coming together to help children who are very vulnerable. And we ask you to be a part of that. Join us as we look forward to the next 25 years and the strides that we'll make in serving children when they need us the most.